Hey everybody, it's me, Julia. I'm a corporate director with APL Go, and I've been with this company since July of 2020. What I'm about to share with you, I have been putting together since my trip to Arizona. So if you know me, you know I was in Arizona for a couple of weeks with our master reps in the company, and we were going over some really intense um, information the entire time that I was there. This is the brainchild of something that I've been working on for a long time so that I could get questions answered. One of the most common questions that I am asked over and over again is, but how do I make money here? Now, this is not material that is exclusive to associates that are here. In fact, we do have some guests on with us. We have a good friend of mine, Chris, is on. He's going to take a listen, and he's never heard this material before. Why is that important? Because I want this to be as easy to understand as somebody who's never seen it before can understand it. Secondly, I want it to be for people who are brand spanking new, have decided to invest money, decided to invest time. Remember, what's more valuable, time or money? Time. So if you're investing time, I want you to be thinking about that. The next thing I want you to be thinking is that I've been here for how many years? In my case, it's almost 4. But how do I explain to people how we make money, how I make money, how we make money? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a very basic, simple, straightforward explanation. Then I'm going to go a little deeper. I have my amazing Brenda on with me. She is unmuted because Brenda, fortunately for me, was also able to bounce a lot of ideas that I had shared with her that I gotten when I was in Arizona, so that Brenda can correct me if I go off track. I want this to be quick. I'm giving you background because I specifically want people to understand where this is coming from. I want you to be able to show this to somebody who says, yes, but how do I make money here? So when I ask people how much money they want to make, hands down, the number one answer every time is $5,000 a month. They might say they want to get to 10 a month. They might say, I know I'll have to start lower, but 5,000 is relatively the normal answer. That's $60,000 a year. That's completely and 100% reasonable. There's nothing unreasonable about that answer, is there? That's a great answer. So I want you to be able to answer it intelligently. I'm going to show you some slides. The first slides are going to be very bare bones, and then I'm going to go a little deeper. If you feel overwhelmed at any point, put your hand up on your screen or type into the chat stop, or let me know somehow, wave your arms at me. I want you to be very transparent with me. Right, exactly. Marianne's got the story right there. Chris is over there laughing his head off, and John is ready to take notes. So I am ready for this. This is very exciting. I have Linda, Alona, Cherie with their screens off. Apparently they're afraid of what I'm going to say. I'm just kidding. So this is very good information. Everybody take a deep breath. This is the first presentation of this. I will be working on this to share it with you. So questions are welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and dive in. So I don't have any sound on this, so we're okay. Okay. All right, my friends. You would like to make $500 per month here. And I completely want you to make $500 a month here. If you were starting out, with this business, you were brand spanking new, I would start with this first row and then move into the second row for making $500 per month. Okay? If you want to make $500 per month, which is a very good place to begin, what do you need to do? Well, first I'm going to assume that how you came into the business. Let's say you started out in this business on the most common way that people start, which is our $750 leader status. The $750 leader status is one of every product. Okay, so that's what a leader status is. But you might have come into the business or know somebody who came in with $100 in product. Maybe they're dipping their toe in. They're going to try some products for themselves. Then they're moving on. So the status with one of every box is the red column here. The status with $100, which is dipping your toe in, is the gray column here. And then the Diamond Club members, and you know who you are. If you're a Diamond Club member, you definitely know. If you know, you know. You're the blue column over here. So as we go through this demonstration and conversation, red column is one of each. $100 status is a couple products. Diamond Club members, you're the blue column. Okay, so that's where we're talking. So you want to make $500. How does every business get started? Every business gets started by selling something. Nothing happens. In fact, there's a famous quote, about to give it away. Nothing happens till somebody sells something. Have you ever heard that? You ever heard that? That was the mantra of my childhood. I heard that at least 100 times a day. Nothing happens till somebody sells something. So step number one, you're going to quote unquote sell something. And my recommendation comes from a member of this team. And this is what a lot of members of this team tell me. They tell me that when they share the product, typically they share about $100 in product. That's 4 of our dailies if the person is buying at wholesale. It's 2 of the dailies if they're buying at retail, or it's 1 of our premium products at retail. So $100 is pretty common for what people sell. Now, yes, when you first get started, you'll probably have somebody buy 1 product or 2 products. I get that. We're basing this on what you're shooting for. I want everybody to start with the mindset of I'm looking for 5 customers that are going to buy $100, because you can build on that and you can build up to that. I'm not assuming that the day that you start in this business, you're going to have 5 $100 customers. That would be great. But I'm going to say that that's what I want you to shoot for. Step 2, what I want you to shoot for are personal enrollments. What's an enrollment? That's bringing somebody into the team, right? That's bringing somebody onto your team. That's you taking the first step to be basically quote unquote sales manager, right? That's you building your team. So my first thought is 5 customers and bring 1 person onto the team. Not likely that it happens the exact same day, but it can. It also means that when you get customers started, typically our enrollments, our team members come from customers. We've seen that 1,000 times, haven't we? The next step is once you start building your team, you're going to have a team that's going to place their monthly orders. Are you going to have this month number 1? If you don't have a team, do you have 5 teammates to do 100 PV order? No, of course not. These are things to shoot for. These are your goals. But what we do want to recommend is that when you do have a teammate, that they do 100 PV order. 100 PV, to give you an idea, as an activity order is approximately how many dollars? It's about a couple $100. In fact, it's about 1 daily kit, or not even, it's way less than even a metabolic reset kit. So we know that if you're using the product and you're a product of the product, you are going to spend some money each month, aren't you? Let me ask you a question. If you're wanting to build a business, are you building an asset and wanting to actually put money back into your business? Brenda, do you put money back into your business? Thumbs up. Yeah. Marianne, I already know you're a thumbs up. John? You put money back into your business. Chris says yes too. You always want to put some money back in. Yeah, that's the way we do it. That's how we grow. So that's why this is there. And it's to teach our team the same. Now, you've started to grow. Let's say you have a couple team members, or you have this 1 team member here. Your goal is to help this team member bring in 2 team members of their own. And when you do all of these things, 5 customer sales, 1 leader enrollment of your own, help 5 people to place orders, and help someone or a group of people to bring in 2 more enrollments, that makes you $500. These rows, boom, Oops, sorry. Clear this. Customer web sales, personal enrollments, and helping your team grow are the most impactful financially in all of this chart. This is the least impactful. I want you to know that. But the most impactful thing that you can do here is build a customer base, which will then become new enrollments, which will then mean helping your team build their enrollments. It's a pretty direct line, right? Does that seem straightforward? And I'm going to ask John this question because I would love to hear from John. John, do you feel from looking at that seems reasonable for a business owner to be working on customer enrollments, leader enrollments, and helping their team grow? I'm going to ask you to unmute because I would like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does 5 customers feel reasonable to you, like working toward 5 $100 customers?
Right, it does.
It does. Excellent. And does bringing in one business partner and helping that business partner to grow, does that seem reasonable?
Sure it does.
Woohoo! Awesome. Good. I'm asking this because remember, this is the first time this has been presented. So we really want to make sure that we're not saying, I want you to bring in 400 people today. It's not our goal, right? Like we're really focusing on what's possible. This is what's possible. Now, if you came in at $100 and you did the same activity, you're going to make less money by $100. If you're a Diamond Club member, you're going to make more money by $100. Pretty straightforward. Which is why we talk about coming in at the $750, one of each level, because we know that that's the most common way people do it. And it's also the easiest and most comfortable to talk about. So we're going to talk about it from that perspective. Okay, next slide. Now, a lot of people will say to me, well, $500 sounds great, but I really am shooting for $1,000 a month. I'm really shooting for $1,000 a month. That seems reasonable too, doesn't it? $1,000 a month. You need 10 customer orders at $100 over the course of a month. There are 30 days in a month. There are 20 business days in a month. If you're doing this business for a while and you're shooting for 10 customers, that seems reasonable, doesn't it? I think it does. 2 leader enrollments, bringing in 2 business partners in a month. That seems reasonable. That's every 2 weeks you bring in a business partner. Helping 10 people to do an activity order, totally reasonable. If you're building your team, that should be your goal. And then helping 4 of your teammates bring in someone, or helping 2 bring in 2, or 1 person bring in 4. Again, very reasonable. But Brenda and I had this conversation, and Tina Mousom and I had this conversation, and some other people and I had this conversation, and they said to me, there are certain people who are customer gatherers, and there are certain people who like to enroll people, right? So there's some people who like customer gathering. For instance, a good example of customer gatherers, people who own a retail business. They're not trying to bring in a team. They have customers already. They're selling product to those people. Or somebody who loves the product, maybe they're not interested in being a sales manager and build a team. Then you have other people who say, no, I am interested in enrolling people, not in having customers. I want to enroll people. I just want you to know that these 2 are kind of interchangeable. They have equal weight in this plan, dollar-wise. 2 enrollments is about the same as 10 customers. So if you want to do this all with enrollments, then you need to move this number to 4. And if you want to do this without enrollments, you need to bump this to 20. Okay? Did everybody get that? I don't see anybody's face telling me yes or no. Okay, yes, okay. All right, great. Also, this is equal weight as this. And I'm going to show you the math in a few minutes. And if you want to stay on for the math, you absolutely can. Now, a lot of people say to me, my long-term goal is $5,000 or $10,000. This is 5,000, but I'm going to talk to you about 10,000 as well. If you want to make $5,000 per month in this business, 35 customer sales, 6-leader enrollments, 100 teammates with 100 PV activity order, and 30 team enrollments at leader status. Obviously, these numbers are vastly different than the $500. Would you agree? If you broke this into days of the week or weeks, that means basically one, and in some days 2 customer sales a day, right? That's basically 8 sales per week. 6-leader enrollments. That means every 5 days, you're going to bring in a new business partner yourself. It also means you have 100 people on your team doing 100 PV activity orders, and 30, meaning 1 person a day, is bringing in a new leader teammate themselves. If you're a leader at the leader status, look at the difference if you're at $100. This is one of every box. This is the $100 level. It's $1,500 less, but it's $6,000, and truthfully, it's actually $6,300 in this column. If you're a diamond and you do the same activity, you actually make $1,300 more than if you're at the leader status. That's a big difference, isn't it? You're bringing in the same people, you're doing the same activity, but your status is higher. Okay. Now, I'm going to blow your mind. Leader status is one of every box, correct? That's coming in on one of every box, or up statusing to one of every box. Diamond is 5 of every box of product, and you can up status to diamond. If you're a diamond and you bring in diamonds, this number jumps from 6,000 to 13,800, almost $14,000. And this number, I got to work out the numbers. So I'm not quite done with all of my calculations. Tina asked me to do this with putting at the bottom here what the difference would be by bringing in Diamond Club members. The reason that's important is because, number one, if you bring in diamonds, like especially here, this number of 500 goes all the way up to $1,400 if you bring in a diamond instead of bringing in, if you bring in a diamond and help your team bring in diamonds. But I would argue, and you can argue with me, please make me, prove me wrong, that it's harder to bring in a diamond if you're not a diamond, because it's harder to express the value of that kit of having 5 of every product if you don't have 5 of every product. There are caveats to that, of course, but the belief isn't typically there. But if I'm a Diamond Club member, which I am, and I think a lot of people on this call, Cherie, Brenda, Marianne, Linda McBee, Alona, Ardith, are all Diamond Club members. So for us, the value is there. Why do I want to have a diamond kit with 5 of every product? Well, there's lots and lots of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is this. Does everybody know who Eric Werre is? Does anybody know who Eric Werre is? Okay. Eric Werre is a sales trainer in the network marketing space, but I would say that his sales strategies do apply to lots of things that I've sold. I've been in sales a long time. His recommendation when you start with a new company, his recommendation is to take 100 full-size packages of whatever product you sell in it. And let me tell you, he talks about this regardless of what you sell. Take 100 full-size products of whatever you sell, and in our case, what? It's this, and mail 100 boxes out to 100 different people that you know that you think would be a good candidate for either being a customer or being an associate. That's a lot, because the five of each product kit comes with 90, not even 100. You'd have to get more than that kit to do what he says. But you know what? Everyone who has done that has really seen tremendous growth in their organization very quickly. A lot of us, myself included, send out 9 candies or half a box as opposed to a full box. So I still subscribe to and believe in that too. So don't think I'm suggesting that you guys all have to go mail out full-size boxes. I'm not saying that, because it's not necessary. But what I'm saying is that getting 100 samples into potential people's hands is step one, day one, first thing you do, according to Eric Werre, which is pretty exciting. Okay. At this point in time, I'm going to turn off the video. I'm going to answer some questions, but I'm going to ask some questions of everybody who's here to get some opinions and thoughts. And I'm also going to go through the math. I'm not going to do that on recording, but I'm going to do that off recording.